Hello, and welcome back to Beering in Mind Beer Reviews. Today we're going to begin a series of 3 beers from the Kasteel Brouwerij Vanhonsebrouck in Belgium, and they produce a variety of beers. I'll talk about them in a minute. And we're going to look at 3 of their lambic beers, what they call their premium beers, and in order those will be the St. Louis Premium Framboise, which is raspberry, and then their St. Louis Premium Creek, which is cherry, and then St. Louis Premium Pêche, which is peach. And these are all kind of mass market sort of lambic beers, not special beers. I don't think they are treated with much of the same care that a lot of other lambics are. And in any case, the brewery is called Kasteel Brouwerij Vanhonsebrouck in Belgium, and it's located about I don't know 70-80 kilometers west of Brussels, and it was founded in 1865 by a man named Amandus Vanhonsebrouck, and his son Emil succeeded him when he decided this man was mayor of the town, which is called Werken, W-E-R-K-E-N, and when he got too ill to continue, his son succeeded him as both mayor and brewer, and it stayed in the family apparently ever since. So it's been in the family for almost 140 years. And so they're famous for making goose beer and lambics, and we will look at 3 different lambics in this range, in their range of lambics. And they also make a beer which is more highly regarded called Bacchus Old Bruin, which is a Flanders red style beer. They have another series called Kasteel, and 5 beers in that range, and then the Passchendaele line of 3 beers. And they also make a beer which is much more highly regarded called Goose von Tradition, which unfortunately I won't be reviewing here. Their website calls them the most modern brewery in Europe, which may sound nice, but doesn't sound exactly like the advertisement I would like for a maker of lambics or gooses. And in any case, let's get going with the 3 beers we'll look at in order now. The first beer we're going to look at is this one. It's called St. Louis Premium Framboise, which means raspberry in French. It is a lambic, and it comes in at a whopping 2.8% alcohol. Very, very light. It's considered, on RateBeer, it's called a lambic or a fruited lambic. And on RateBeer, it has 378 ratings, an average score of 3.1 out of 5. Not terribly high. 38 percentile for all beers on RateBeer, and 17% for its style. So not very, very high. And on Untapped, it has 16,499 ratings, and the average score is much, much higher there, 3.77 out of 5. I tend to prefer RateBeer for all of its failings and weaknesses. Untapped is unmoderated, and I think Untapped has a lot of people who are not terribly serious about the beer they drink, or not so careful about the way they evaluate the beer. I don't want to offend anybody. I also do put up ratings on Untapped, and it's a much, much larger venue for beer ratings and reviews. So, shall we give this one a go? Again, it's St. Louis Premium Framboise, 2.8%. These fruited lambics often have a very unusual character in mid-palate, and we'll see if this one does. Kind of retronasal thing that sort of sends something similar to astringency up into the sinuses. Okay, so this pours out a very pretty dark, almost wine grape purple color, and with a nice consistent half finger pink head. Let's turn around into the light and see what we get here. So it is, outside the light it is opaque, but inside the light you can see through a little bit. Okay. All right. Okay, clearly it has raspberry on the bottle. It says it has 25%. So 25% raspberry content in this beer, so that's quite a lot. So it does have definitely raspberry. I get a kind of lactic-y sort of nose. Tart cherries, certainly. The lambic character is very muted. No sense of anything really wild in here at all. It doesn't really have that sort of mid-palate sinus thing that some lambics really do. They really push things back into the sinuses and then sort of float away. This is pleasant, very unassuming. The fruit character is a little bit stronger than the lambic character, but it could be quite a refreshing beer on a warm day. The temperatures are going up here in Japan, and today it was, I think, 28 degrees, so in the mid-80s. So it is warming up, and beer like this is not bad. In any case, I hope you're doing okay. I've been listening to a series of podcasts, New York Times podcasts, kind of new ones, and they're hosted by the author Cheryl. You may know her name. She wrote the book Wild, which was made into a movie starring Reese Witherspoon, and she edited every year the Best American Essay Series, has a guest editor, and she was the guest editor in 2013. And she is doing a podcast called Sugar Calling on the podcasts, New York Times podcasts, and she, in this time of coronavirus, when she and other people are isolated at home, she's calling writers to talk to them and see how they're dealing with it and get any advice from them. The first one was the writer George Saunders, who sounds like an absolutely great guy. The second one, which I listened to today, was Margaret Atwood, the Canadian writer who wrote The Handmaid's Tale and many others. And hers was called Roll Up Your Sleeves, Girls. And she talked about pulling out the sewing machine with her younger sister and sewing face masks. So getting that sewing machine out and producing something. So rolling up your sleeves and doing something productive. And the third one, which I haven't quite finished, is she calls Pico Iyer, the kind of Anglo-American writer who lives here in Japan. In fact, he lives right over the hill from where I live in Nara Prefecture, maybe 30 minutes away by car. And she talks with Pico Iyer. He's probably more famous than any of them so far maybe not Margaret Atwood, but every year the Dalai Lama comes to Japan, and every year Pico Iyer is his kind of guide around Japan. And he's visited a lot of religious people in the U.S. He's been to Thomas Merton's former monastery in Gethsemane, Kentucky, and the point of his one of the points is what he calls joyful participation in a world of sorrows, which is a kind of Buddhist sense of resignation, and I think something which has probably become definitely a part of Japanese Buddhism for sure. with so many natural disasters afflicting and social disasters, war, etc. In Japan throughout its history. In any case, so, a little something like this to give you a break from everything and perhaps a different perspective on it. And I hope you're doing well. Take care. Come back and we will look at 2 more lambics from the St. Louis Kasteel series. All right. Take care. Bye bye.